Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.
Hello, welcome to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. I'm Nando. This is Alex. We'd like you to like or subscribe if you like what we're doing. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get feedback. So we're going to go into last week's fight. We promised you that one of us was going to do the walk of shame, and we'll find out who it is.
That's right. And yeah, I made my list of wins, losses, and yeah, it's good to be back, you guys. Last week's card was a phenomenal card. They gave out a number of bonuses, and even though I didn't do as well as I thought, Nando, how did you do before you go over everything?
I did pretty well. I did better in the main event.
Okay.
But I broke even, I think.
All right. Oh, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go. Tell me which fights you picked that won and lost. Do you have that list?
No, I don't have that list. But
okay, I'll let you. I'll read the names because I do have the list.
Okay.
And you tell me. I'll tell you my pick. You tell me your pick. Okay.
Yeah. If it's your pick, I'm the opposite pick.
Almost. There's a couple we agreed on. So
Okay.
I've got the first fight was Penne versus Ducote. I picked that Penne would win. Your pick?
I picked Ducote.
And Ducote won. So that was my first loss. Number two,
Yeah.
Grant versus Stoltzfus. I picked Stoltzfus to win, and you?
Grant.
Grant. So that was a win for me. By the way, I just read that the UFC just released Dwight Grant because he had 3 losses in a row. You really picked it. I'm just kidding. And then the next fight was Jacoby versus Jung. And I picked Jacoby. You?
I picked Jacoby.
Okay, so we both got a win there. Next one, Algeo versus Burns. I picked Algeo to win.
I picked Burns.
All right, so there you go. The next one was a really good fight too, by the way. Simone versus Shore. I picked Simone to win.
I picked Shore.
And the next one also is another banger, a great knockout. Soriano versus Lungiambula. I picked Soriano.
I picked the opposite. It's not looking like I did well right here.
It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly, Fernando. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. Next one, Murphy versus Tate. I chose Tate.
Tate.
You chose Tate too?
Yeah, remember we both, because we thought Tate was going to get this done. Murphy.
Yeah. Okay,
Tough
so we
as
both
nails.
lost that one. All right. All right, that's the first double loss. There you go. Next one, Burgos versus Jourdain. Who did you pick?
Burgos.
You picked who?
Burgos.
Burgos. Okay, and I picked Jourdain, so I lost that one. Good job, Nando. And then Schnell versus Sumanjarji. And I picked Sumanjarji. Who did you pick?
Snell.
All right, so another win. Oh, like he's coming back, folks. Next one was Jinglang versus Solikov. I picked Solikov.
Pick the Leech.
The Leech won. That was a great fight too, man.
Yes, it was awesome.
Fantastic. Did you see him dump his whole team after the fight?
No.
He took his team and hip tossed every one of them.
Really?
In the octagon. That was pretty cool, man. Let's see. Next one, Gomez versus Lemos. I picked Lemos. You picked Michelle Watterson, Gomez.
Oh yeah. I did pick Lemos. Remember, because I said Watterson couldn't. She had no power.
Yep, exactly, and that's what happened too. So good win for both of us there. And last, Ortega versus Rodriguez. I picked Rodriguez.
I picked T-City, and he lost by submission, really.
And he lost by submission, but it was an unfortunate end to a great card. But hopefully we wish Brian Ortega to get well quick. Getting a shoulder dislocated is a painful process. It's going to take months for him to recover. Hopefully he didn't receive any permanent damage from that.
Yeah,
All right,
he had had 2 surgeries on both of his shoulders, so he was already like, in a lot of pain.
Oh,
from
okay.
Well, he had already had that before, so that's just messing up an injury he already had.
Well, that sucks, but that's what the fight game's all about, right? You're always
Right.
injured. You always got something wrong when you go into a fight. It's very rare that a fighter goes in without any bruises or bangs or cuts or whatever. Sometimes it's worse, like T-City, as Nando just said, T-City having these surgeries. That's hard to come back from. What comes to mind is Dominic Cruz, man. I was just mentioning him. He's making another run for the title, and I think he'll probably get somewhere close if he doesn't get it, fight for the title again. But he's gone through many surgeries and all kinds of stuff, and he still comes back. But boy, it takes its toll on you. I'll tell you what. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you add all of those fights up, I picked 7 correct, and I missed 5. How about you, Nando?
I don't know. I think I just made even. I think it was like 5 and 6. I'm not sure.
Okay, so that means I won. Nando will be taking the walk of shame. My hat's off to him. Not for long. All right, let's move on to the new card. We've got a new one. This one is coming up. Tell us a little bit about where this fight's happening. What's going on?
Oh man, I didn't look up where it was.
London.
Oh, it's in. Oh yeah, it's in London. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's an early fight. Also, it's in London. It's going to be the return of Paddy Pimblett. It's going to be a lot of our European fighters, and it's going to be, they're trying to showcase. UFC isn't just America. They're trying to showcase their talent in all other countries, states, and areas, and they're trying to bring new people to the mainstream so that people will see them.
Yeah, and I agree. It's UFC International because they're global now. They're going to be setting up fights in Africa, pretty much on every continent in the world. So
Yes.
that is correct. But yeah, this London card. Okay, let's start off with the prelims, and then we're just going to mention the prelims just because we want you guys to know all of the fights on the card. Because we can just go with the main card, but a lot of times there's really good sleeper fights in the prelims, and we don't want to skip over those, but we'll just kind of mention them before we go into detail on the main card. So let's see, on the prelims, very first fight, we have Claudio Silva versus Nicholas Dalby. Now, have you seen any of these guys fight before?
I do not think so.
Okay, I've seen Nicholas Dalby fight before. I don't want to do any picks on the prelims, just because we want to move quickly through them. But Claudio Silva for me is a newbie. I've never seen him fight. Nicholas Dalby, he's a pretty good striker, tough guy. So that should be a good scrap. But again, I don't know anything about Claudio Silva. Thoughts over there?
Okay, I'm just looking at them right now. No, I'm interested to see them fight because, like you said, I'm not really familiar with them, but you never know. Some of these fight cards, that guy's fighting in the bottom, and then next he's in the main event of the prelims, and then he's off to the races. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of these fights can just catapult one of these fighters.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Nando, because the last fight, Schnell versus Sumanjarji, that was fight of the night, and what a banger it was. And I didn't pick Schnell, but I'm really glad that he won. He's kind of had an up and down career in the UFC, but that fight, he refused. He got rocked at least 6 times, man.
Yeah, he
Like
I was going, another loss for me, another loss for me. Uh-oh, no.
Wow. That to me, that was the fight of the night, and it's just spectacular. So that's why we're saying we're covering these prelims, because you're going to see some fights that are going to, as Nando said, just catapult people up. And I think Chanel got a lot of clout from that fight. All right, let's move on to Mandy Bohm versus Victoria Leonardo. And I've never seen Mandy Bohm either. I have seen Victoria Leonardo. Her record is, they're both coming off of losses. Leonardo's record is 8-5, and Bohm is 7-1-0, 1 no contest.
Yeah, they look like some pretty tough fighters on this card right here. This is going to be interesting. I'm not very familiar with either one of them, but I think they're gonna do very well.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, next one is Jai. I don't know if it's Jai Herbert or Hi Herbert. Let me take a look here, see where they're from. Oh, he's from the United Kingdom, so it could be Jai Herbert versus Kyle Nelson. I saw an interview with Jai Herbert, and he's planning on making a statement and knocking out Kyle Nelson. Records are Jai Herbert 11-4, Kyle Nelson 13-4. Both of them are coming off of losses, and they're fighting at 155. So it should be a pretty good fight. Next up, we have, now this is the guy that intrigues me a lot, Nando. His name is Mohamed Mokaev. They call him the Punisher, and he's got, I think he's only got 1 fight in the UFC, but he made a big splash. He's got a great personality, great on the mic. He's Dagestani, I believe, fighting out of the UK. But I'm intrigued with this guy. I think he's going to be a future champion. I think he's going to rise up the ranks pretty fast. And he's fighting a gentleman by the name of Charles Johnson. And I am not sure about Charles Johnson because on the UFC official site, they have him blacked out.
Yeah.
He's just a silhouette. So, but I'm looking forward. Watch this guy right here. Watch Mohamed Mokaev. Watch him. Tell me, look at his style. Look at everything about the way that he moves, his ring IQ, fight IQ, just the way that he strikes. This dude is just, he's like a fireball, man. So watch him because it's going to be a great showing. Hopefully Charles Johnson will make it a really good fight because I want to see his skills. And next up, we're going to go with Makwan Americani versus Jonathan Pierce. I am a huge Americani fan. He went through a little phase where he was losing, and then something switched in him, and he's been winning. I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight win streak now, but he's a submission monster, man. And when he looks like he's losing, he's almost like T-City. When he looks like he's losing, boom, he gets you in a triangle or some kind of choke and makes you tap or makes you go to sleep. But he's one of my favorite fighters. I like his style. Jonathan Pierce is a tough nut. Americani 17-7, Jonathan Pierce 12-4. Both of them are coming off of wins. What's your thought on this one?
I think like you said, it's going to be very interesting. I think. Okay, now I know. Yeah. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I would probably go with Americani on this, but you never know. This is the fight game.
Yeah. Well, I'll pick him also because I like his fighting style. Really like that guy. All right. Next up, we have Nathaniel Wood versus Charles Rosa. Now, Nathaniel Wood in his interview said he was going to be also making a statement. He's going to knock Charles Rosa out. That's his prediction. He is 17-5. Charles Rosa is 14-7. Both of them are coming off of losses. I like Charles Rosa too. He's one of those dudes that he doesn't quit. He doesn't have quit in him. He's got a big heart. So we'll see. But I like Charles Rosa on this one. But Nathaniel Wood is super tough.
Yeah, I think that Nathaniel Wood is going to take that personally. And, you know, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of trash talk. And then, you know, there's videos on YouTube where when trash talking goes wrong. So you never know. He's going to go in there. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to try. They're both going to try to press on the gas because, you know, they need a victory. They have a lot of fighters in the UFC. You know, every week you hear about them cutting someone and you're like,
yeah, they just cut 3 today. Also, Charles Rosa's going up against the UK fan base. They're one of the loudest fan bases in UFC as far as lifting up their fighters and putting down the other fighters. You got to be mentally prepared for that because that arena is going to get really loud.
yeah.
And that's definitely an advantage for the UK or the foreign fighters, European fighters. Next up, man, they have a good prelim card, Nando. Next up, we have Mark Diakase versus Damir Hadzovic, and this is another banger. Diakase is he was winning at the beginning of his career. And he was looking really good, looking like, okay, this guy could be a possible contender. And then he went through this spell of losing, but then he reinvented himself again, and he's been winning. So I have a lot of high expectations from Diakase. And Damir, he's a good fighter too, man. This dude, those dudes from Bosnia, Dagestan, all those places, they're tough guys. And he's one of those guys. Very tough. I can't pick a winner here. I don't want to pick a winner here.
You know,
I do think it's going to be a banger, though. I think it's going to be a great fight. Your thoughts?
I think that, yeah, I think one's going to try to get him down. I think the other is going to try to stand. But I think I'm one of those people that believes shooting in is great until you get that right or the wrong person and they do an uppercut or a knee or you know, you'll be surprised a lot of times. A lot of these wrestlers don't, you know, they're going to take the guy down no matter what, like a Hazmat, but nobody is going to take everybody down.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Diakase has some pretty good leg kicks too. He's been firing those off a lot lately, and I think that was part of his problem when he went through that losing streak. He was just trying to strike, and he was getting taken down and all kinds of stuff. But the leg kicks will keep somebody away that's trying to, you know, go for a takedown. That's a good one. And the feints with the knees too. That's a good one too. And then this next one, here's another sleeper hit for you. Mason Jones versus Ludovic Klein. And I got my money on Jones on this one. I've seen him fight. That kid is tough. He's vicious. And I've seen him get rocked a little bit, but he comes back and I wouldn't say gets mad, but he doesn't.
It's aggressive.
If you give him one good shot, he's going to give you 3 or 4, and he's going to make you pay for that. He doesn't forget. But he's 11-1 with 1 no contest right now, and Klein is 18-4. He's a Slovakian, so another tough guy, and I've seen him fight too. He's a tough dude, but I'm gonna go with Mason Jones. I just have a good feeling about him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Klein.
Are you starting this again?
Yeah, I'm starting it again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you, Nando, take over the main card. take us through it, and let's break it down, baby.
All right. So the first fight on this card, hold on, let me get everything set up right. The first fight on the card is Paul Craig versus Vulkan Ozdimir. And they're both have some losses to some big people. I'll start with Paul Craig. Paul Craig is 34. He's ranked 8th right now. He had he's got 5 wins, 1 draw, so he's 6th in the win column. I would say a draw is a win in my book. So he's got wins over Rua. He has subs, TKOs. He broke Jamal Hill's arm, and that was a weird not stoppage because his arm just dangling, and he's still hitting him. And he's like, I don't know what more you want me to do to this guy. And Vulkan Ozdimir is ranked 9th. He's 2-3 in the last 5. He had a loss to Yuri. He had a loss to Reyes, and he's a fast starter. He named himself, what was it? No Time, and it wasn't a great nickname. You know, you needed to go back to the drawing board on that. But it's going to be a really close fight between these two, and I think Paul Craig has a lot of submissions. He's on the up, so they're trying to use him against Ozdimir and maybe get him in a title because the title picture right now is wide open. You have people winning, keeping the title 1 or 2 fights, but you don't have someone like Jones or Cormier, you know, and that's what the UFC wants, is they want a champion that's going to defend like 3 or 4 times and build a name.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. One thing I can tell you about Paul Craig is he gets pieced up on the feet. You don't want to go to the ground with him though, man.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of different ways to submit you, or like you mentioned, break an arm. But you don't want to go to the ground with him. But normally, if I was Ozdimir and he starts piecing him up on the feet, because Paul Craig is not the best striker. He's okay. He's getting better. It gets better with every fight, I think. But Ozdimir, I think, is superior in his striking. And but the ground game, man, that's a different animal. If Craig gets into the ground, it's over.
Yeah,
it's going to be over. I don't think it's going to go to a decision. I think, and Craig has a big, humongous, like, freaking chin. I mean, I don't know that he's ever been knocked out. He can take a punch, and but when he goes down and his opponent thinks, okay, I got him, I'm going to do some ground and pound, and he drops to the ground, then Craig does this thing and whoosh, and submits him, man.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him like with the ref on a fight, and I can't remember who his opponent was, but the ref was getting ready to stop this fight because Craig was getting elbowed in the head on the ground. I mean, he was taking some punishment, and the ref was like right there ready to call this fight if he took a couple more shots. And Craig did this thing and turned it around and submitted that guy. And I was just like, wow, you know, he doesn't have any quit in him. And he's the only guy. Look at Paul Craig's face and tell me that guy shouldn't have been in what was that Mel Gibson flick?
Oh, Braveheart.
Braveheart, man.
One of the times he came out in the Braveheart face, and the walk. Remember the weigh-in? He came in dressed as Braveheart.
Yeah, but he's got, you know, that if you know, after his fights in the UFC, after his career, that dude's got a, if he can act, he's got a spot in movies because he's got that look. Vulkan, he has a chance. He has a striker's chance to win. I'm going to pick Craig over this one though, because I just think he has more tools.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Craig's going to try to get it to the ground. And if Ozdimir wins, it has to be in the beginning. Because if he doesn't, the longer it goes on, the more the more confidence Craig's gonna have, and the more he's gonna just try to drag him.
Yeah. I think also Craig has probably a better gas tank than Ozdimir. All right, what do you got for the next one?
Okay, the next one is Hanna Goldby versus Molly Meatball. And Hanna Goldby's 30. She's 6-2. She's got one win right now on the win streak. She's a contender from the Contender Series, which is coming back. And then Molly McCannon is 32. She's 12-4. She's 2-5 in her last fight, which I was surprised because she they make it sound like she just came out with Patty Pimblett. She's been in the UFC for 4 years. She's had 8 fights in the UFC, and she's 5-3 in the UFC. So, you know, I think she's trying to piggyback off of Patty Pimblett, which isn't a bad idea, but she's got kind of a salty record, you know, and I think this fight, they're trying to build her up. They're giving her somebody that is a good fight for her to win, but doesn't always mean you're going to win these fights they give you that are a perfect matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and I agree with you too. It is a good idea for her to, you know, I know her and Patty Pimblett are friends, and she's you know, tag teamed with him, and that's helped her record go, or her popularity improve, because she was just one of those fighters like, who's that? Oh, okay, should be an okay fight based on her record. But now she's getting a lot of the limelight, and good for her. You know, that's all I can say. Good for her. But I am going to pick her, Molly, the meatball, because she's in her home country. And Hanna Goldby, I just don't think she is as tough as Molly. Molly is, you know, even if she's getting beat up, she still moves forward. And I think that's going to be the difference right there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next.
Yeah. The next one is Krylov versus Gustafsson.
Yep.
Krylov is ranked 11th. He's 2-5. He lost to Craig, Akalev, Glover, and Jan. So a lot of the top people in that weight class. Gustafsson is 2-5. He's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. He lost to Jones, Smith, and Verdum at heavyweight, which is you know, Verdum is still Verdum. He's still gonna, you know, he's gonna stand up and fight with you, because he's not scared to go to the ground. And then this, I think, is a must win for either one of them. I think that it's gonna come down to if Gustafsson can keep it moving. But I mean, he's been in wars, even wars with DC. So in those 2 wars with John Jones, and it's good to be in those wars. They make your career, but they lessen your career at the same time. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know if it's a must win for Gustafsson simply for this fact, Nando, that he's moved down to light heavyweight. He may have rejuvenated his, you know, his time with the UFC. I think if he loses, you know, this one and loses one more, then we're talking, okay, his back's against the wall. But I think because he moved down, and just the things he's been saying, this is my division, I'm moving back, at, you know, coming to take what's mine. They're going to go with that because he's still pretty big in Europe as far as eyeballs, and so they're gonna like that a little bit. And I'm gonna go with Nikita on this one. I think he's going to win this one. He's a tough guy. All right, let's go with the next one.
Okay, the next one is Patty Pimblett versus Levitt, which is a really weird, like, I'm not gonna go into what they are saying to each other, but it's really weird trash talk. It's really like, I think that this is set up for Patty to win. I was looking at the other guy. The other guy is a great grappler, but Patty Pimblett, that is what he is. That's his specialty, is submissions. And the other guy I mean, they're just two odd guys. It's a weird, but I think it's gonna be a grappling fight, which and the thing about Paddy Pimblett is the guy takes too many shots. This is not a bad guy to take shots against because I don't think he's gonna knock him out, but
Right,
he's gonna really have to tighten that up. And because even people like Sean O'Malley's fighting Peter Yan now. So
yeah,
it's just like you get these easy fights, and once they start paying you, now they want to see some interesting fights. And there's some interesting people. Even Tony Ferguson would be an interesting fight for him. And it's not a given that he would win. You know what I mean? So he's gotta work on that, but I think he's gonna win this fight.
I think he'll probably win as well, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as everybody thinks it is. I've seen Jordan Levitt fight, and he's very unorthodox, and he's surprisingly strong. I've seen him pick up a guy, walk him across the ring to his side of the to his corner, and slam that dude down. And I think he broke his shoulder or something. He pile drived him hard. And that was shocking to me because if you look at him, he doesn't look like he's that yoked,
Mhm.
But he's coming in pretty confident. He's 10-1-0. So he's talking a lot of smack in the interviews as well, but he seems pretty confident, So I think and he's got under Paddy's skin. Paddy was pretty mad at his last couple of interviews, saying his head's gonna fall off, and I'm gonna take his head off. And this is one guy I never thought I'd dislike somebody, and I dislike him.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's gonna try to trade with him, and we'll see. I think it's gonna be an interesting. Whoever wins is gonna be the interview of the night.
Yeah. And I think also, whoever wins the grappling exchange wins the fight.
Yes.
All right. What do we got next?
The next one is Jack Hermansson. He's ranked 6, and he's fighting Chris Curtis. He's
Who
got
just
a loss to
3
Huh?
weeks ago. He fought
What?
him like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah. He's got lost. Hermansson's got lost Strickland, Vittori, and Cannonier. He's on a 1-fight losing streak. He did beat Kelvin Gastelum. Chris Curtis is a beast. He's a big guy. He's bulky. He's on an 8-fight winning streak. He has fights over Will Howes. I thought it was really weird. I was reading stuff about him, and it said he retired 4 times, which is really weird. He's not like he's 35 years old, but it was kind of odd. He was on the Contender. He didn't do well. He retired. He's in the PFL. He didn't do well. He retired. Then he had some wins, and he said he might retire. So I don't know if his heart's all the way into it, but looking at his fights, I don't think you should retire anytime soon. I mean, you finally got, yeah, he looks really good, and his hits are powerful. Maybe not the cleanest, but yeah, he looks like he reminds me of. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank, but he was yeah, I can't think of the name, but he is just a very compact guy.
Yeah.
And Jack Hermansson's a good fighter, and hopefully he gets out of this losing streak. But he did lose to everybody that fought for a title, so there's nothing bad with that.
Yeah, I think Hermansson is a really good fighter. Chris Curtis is on a tear. And I think he's fought like 3 times this year already. I think this is his 3rd fight just this year in 2022. And he says, I want to fight as often as I can. I want that money. So there you go. But Jack Hermansson, I really like his style as well. I like him as a fighter. And this one is going to be a banger. I hope it goes 3 rounds. so we can see, just the full arsenal that these guys have. And because I know Hermansson, he took a couple of losses that were just derailed him, and
Yeah.
he needs to get back into contention there. All right, next one.
So the main event is going to be Curtis Blades versus Aspinwall. Now, Blades is ranked 4th. He's from Elevation Fight Team, which is Trevor. He has a loss against Francis and Derek Lewis. He has 2 wins against Dawkins and Rosenstrike. Now, Aspinall's ranked 6th, so he's trying to jump up and try to be in that top 4, because if you're in that top 4, you're gonna get a title fight. The UFC heavyweight division, the longest someone's held the title is 2 defenses. So you want to be in that top 4, because someone's going to get knocked out, someone's not going to be able to fight, and then you're going to be able to fight. So Aspinall's young. He's got an 8-fight win streak. He's beat Volkov or Orlovsky's. He has no decisions in his whole career, and he's never been to the 3rd round.
Wow.
So he's trying to, he's going to try to win this fight early, because he knows that Curtis Blades is going to try to smother him. There's not a lot of wrestlers in that division, and Curtis Blade is going to try to smother him. He's going to try to take it into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, because he knows that he can win, because if you've never been to that 3rd round, it's going to be tough, and maybe you can make it, but if you've never been to the 3rd, it's going to be really tough, the 4th and the 5th. You know what I mean? And I think, go ahead.
No, I think that's a spot on analysis, because it makes sense. And I know Curtis Blades, his wrestling style, when he gets on you, it's like a wet blanket, man. You cannot get him off of you. If you peel one arm away, something else is attaching to you. His name should be the Leech. I mean, just he just gets you, man, and he ties up all your limbs, and you do feel like you're getting smothered, because he's relentless, and he can do that all day. Wrestlers like that can do that, for 10 rounds if they want. And but Tom Aspinall, when I've seen him fight, even how he conducts himself in interviews, he's very level-headed. He, and he says, I have a good fight IQ. I don't get excited I can stick to the game plan. I think before I strike. And he says, but I think very quickly. So as things change, and this is just going off what he said in the interview, as things change, I am able to make correct decisions very, very fast. And for somebody, that young, he's 29, to be able to articulate that in an interview, that tells me a lot that he does have a good ring presence and a good fight IQ. That's not to say, but even Blade said he made a mistake when he got KO'd, with Derek Lewis. He said, I made a mistake. I went for this, we were talking about knees earlier and going for that takedown. And that's what, and when he went for that takedown, he got that uppercut from hell and put his lights out, and he said he made a mistake. He won't make that mistake with Aspinall. So these guys are going to go in. But I think if either one of them have a knockout or a submission, that's going to put him in contendership for sure with Cyril Gahn. And who's my other guy?
Tai Tuivasa are fighting. It's Cyril Gahn and Tai Tuivasa.
Tuivasa. Tuivasa. So one of these two are going to be fighting them, whoever wins that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tom Aspinall keeps saying, I want to take my time going up, but the way that it's changing so quickly, he's not going to have that luxury.
No, he's not. Because you're going to have to fight one of the top 4. I think Jones wants a title fight. I don't know if they can get it with him with Francis, but he will fight Stipe if they don't. And it's gonna, you know, the show must go on. You know, they're not gonna wait for Francis. They're just gonna move on. So, you know, and that fight favors Curtis Blades to fight one of those people, but you know, they want Aspinall to do well. They want Tai Tuivasa to do well. I think Cyril Gahn's game plan wasn't the right one when he fought Francis, you know, and Francis wrestled him. Nobody. I mean, I couldn't be mad at Cyril Gahn. Who would expect that Francis is going to wrestle you the whole fight and wrestle not bad?
See, but that's the thing. That's the thing that sometimes surprises me because, you know, some fighters say you got to be ready for everything, and you really do, because it's MMA, right?
Right.
You can't just say, well, this dude strikes like, you know, Curtis Blades' last fight, he knocked the dude out.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, nobody knows I have hands, you know. They all think I'm going to wrestle him, and he does, but he hasn't proven anything different until just his last fight, right?
Right.
That he has some power in his hands. But that's one thing I really appreciated when I watched the Aspinall interview. He said, I'm prepared for everything. He can stand with me. He can take me to the ground. He can, you know, go for a takedown. He can do this, this, and this, but I have tools for all of it. And when you have that mindset, you're not surprised, right?
Yeah.
You know, like you just said, who would have thunk that Ngannou would have wrestled and taken down Gahn, you know? And he looked good too doing it. But to be surprised, like, well, you're supposed to be a striker. This is MMA.
Yeah, you have to be ready for everything. You have to be able to change your plan, you know. And there is a lot of fighters that get in there and then they don't stick to the game plan, and their coach is like, you need to stick to the game plan. And sometimes I'm like yelling, no, throw the game plan out the window. That it's not working. It's not gonna work if it's not working now. You need to spice it up, maybe go back to the game plan, but you're gonna have to do something different right now.
Yeah, and that's great advice too. So, okay, we've broken this fight down. Who do you got?
I don't know. I don't want to curse Aspinall, but I'm gonna say Aspinall. I think he's gonna go in there, and it's gonna surprise Curtis Blades. He's gonna have a good sprawl, but if it goes later, it's not gonna be in his favor. I just think the longer it goes, the more Curtis Blades is gonna build confidence, and he's gonna know what to do. He's been in there with some of the toughest guys, and Aspinall is young, but I think this might be where he's gonna catapult. I think he's fast. You know, like you said, he thinks about what he's gonna do, and I think it's gonna be he's gonna have to be ready for the shot. And if I was his team, we're gonna see what Derek Lewis did, and we're gonna be ready for shots that are gonna come off of him trying to shoot on you. Some uppercuts, some knees, some what I would look at would be what DC did, where you're in the clinch, you push off, and then right, boom, real quick. A lot of punches off of the release, but I'm going with Aspinall.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you my pick and why. So I'm picking Aspinall as well. I think that he's a lot faster than Blades, and I think he's got a lot more tools. You know, one thing that he also mentioned in the interview was he wants to showcase his stuff. His fights end too soon, and people don't know what I've got. I've got all kinds of stuff that I'm really good at, and I haven't been able to display them. You know, I don't think he's going to want to, just drag it out to show people, but I think he's going to pull them out fast. I think he's going to pull out all kinds of different
Tools.
techniques and different things on Curtis Blades. And I do agree with you that he will surprise him, even though Blades has said, I'm going to be ready for everything. One thing you can't be ready for sometimes is speed. Because like, okay, he's going to telegraph this. I'm going to see that. And next thing you know, you're getting clocked with the left hook, man. You're just thinking that, okay, he's going to do a leg kick and then boom, and you're seeing
or sometimes it's the way that someone is built and you're used to speed, but you're not used to speed with somebody that long or that reach, or somebody that's shorter, like a Chad Mendes. He would surprise people because they're expecting him right here. He's so short, his arms are so short. They're just boom, they're right there.
Yeah. Yep. And I think Aspinall will, it's not going to go 5 rounds either way, I don't think. I think I do agree with you 100% that if it goes into later rounds, definitely favors Blades with a submission or a decision. But Aspinall, I'm looking at him and getting it done within 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And that's my pick right there.
Well, we agree more this time than last time.
Well, I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah, you think so? I think I did. I like the underdogs, though. I like to see, I like to see those Rudy moments when the guy wins when he's not supposed to.
Well, and it's interesting because I thought I did a lot better till I started going back through them. I'm like, oh yeah, I picked this, I picked that, I picked that. But man, I was like, oh crap, I lost that one. I lost, and then they kept adding up.
Yeah.
So I didn't do as great as I thought I did, but that's all right. It's still fun. I think this is going to be overall. I think it's going to be a great card. The UK crowd is the London crowd is going to bring it, and that always makes for exciting. When they're cheering and booing and doing all those things that they do.
So is this one in the O2?
Yeah.
It's in the O2. Yeah, it's
Yep. So it should be a lot of fun. And then right on the tail of that, we got others coming up. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us,
Yeah, well, the next one is Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunez, and then after that, the week after that is going to be the ESPN, I think, and it's going to be 2 of the fights from the Tough show. The 2
that's right.
Final fights.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of interesting fights in the Juliana Pena. There's the Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France, and it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of, it's going to be a stacked summer.
Most definitely, all the way through September 17th.
And then they're adding fights all week. They added the Islam versus Oliveira. Nate Diaz finally got a fight.
Yeah,
the fight I wanted him to have.
We're gonna have to almost dedicate a full show to the Diaz Hamzat fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I hope that it materializes, but I don't think they're gonna give him an easy fight to leave.
No, they want to send him out, but either way, he's going to make a ton of money because it's going to be a pay-per-view and they're going to get points, and who's not going to want to watch that fight? So
yeah, I want to watch that fight.
If it's my last fight, and I don't want to say I know I'm going to lose. He's got a puncher's chance. He can knock people out. Diaz can knock anybody out. But if I'm going to lose, but I'm going to make $5, $6 million, $7 million. Let's do it. And then I'll line up Jake Paul next.
Well, the thing about it, I'll go more into it, but I think it's everything's on the UFC and Hamzat. He needs to win fast because if he doesn't, the Diaz fan base is crazy. Like, he lost against Leon Edwards, but everybody's like, he won in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
he
but
didn't really win.
he
So
just made a
if he gets
mistake. Instead
anything,
of finishing him off, he's pointing at him like, look what I did to you. He should have went in there and knocked him out, man. He would have been a megastar.
if he lasts 5 rounds, if he gets a good punch, if he gets an armbar attempt, everybody's like, he's the golden goose. He's people. He has to lose like he lost to Masvidal, which I don't think he is. I don't know if his jiu-jitsu. I think Nick Diaz's jiu-jitsu is better, but yeah, we'll go into that because I have a lot to say about that.
You got a lot to unpack there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we want to remind you, don't forget to like and subscribe, Knuckle Sandwich MMA. That's right, down below. And we want to keep going with this and having fun and just kind of give you our opinions. And then the other thing that we're going to do too is we're going to be doing a podcast on fighters, branding, kind of the business, the back end business, what we think fighters should do as far as increasing their their ability
longevity.
To extend their careers. We're not experts. I'm not an expert, but we have thoughts of what might work and what might not. But we're just going to give you our thoughts and opinions on stuff like that. So it's not just going to be just fight card. It's going to be the business. It's going to be training regimens, all those kinds of things that make a fighter a fighter. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and we're going to just kind of mix it up a lot and give you guys what we can, and hopefully it'll be good, fun information. All right, Nando, I'll let you sign us off, buddy.
All right, I'd like to thank you guys for watching our show. We're just trying to get better and better, and we appreciate. Remember to click and knuckle sandwich.
I like it. Knuckle sandwich, baby. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.